on a moon day. Forgive me, I wasn't really prepared. I just walked in and sat down my purse, and it's like, let's have a talk. And I'm like, what are we talking about? I didn't know what to do. I had my cards pulled out over here. I grabbed 2 books, and then the third one, I went to a specific page and then, like, read about this. What were we going to talk about? Well, I'm moving too fast. Let me introduce myself. We have some new people. I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sibyl. I am your messenger of God, the Lilith reincarnated on a moon day. In order to keep up with me, you had to see last night's video and anything I posted in my community page leading up to this. Okay, what are we talking about? Well, I'm going through a level of the Dark Night of the Soul. I went through a tower. It's called the Magnum Opus, the alchemical process. We are processing dense, harsh energy, memories, and feelings are coming to the surface. We pulled them out, and then we go through the, you know what I mean, through the process of it. That's what we should read. See, I had everything sitting next to me. I was like, I don't know what we're doing, and then it makes sense. Let me find the cards to explain this to you. These are my Black Moon Lilith cards. Okay. In the beginning, there's an outline for what I'm telling you, right? So the first gate that you walk through, and they're gates of hell, described by Dante, portals, however you may see so. It's the ascension. You have to descend to ascend. So the first part is calcination. This is the internal transformation through fire, initiation of the alchemical process. This sparks the inspiration to change, is typically triggered by a difficult event and life discord. In the tarot community, we call this the tower, right? This happens typically, I teach this on a Friday. This is what happens, right? So this is triggered by a difficult event or a life discord. I pull the cards and I show you where it's focused. And so then something is going to trigger that difficult event and life discord. I show you what area it's going to come. I can't tell you what's going to trigger you. I tell you that it's coming, usually over the weekend, just how it works. That's what I do. Gate 2. In this stage, through the element of water, that's your feelings, the subconscious mind is cleansing limitations, trauma, and outdated patterns of belief systems. You would have caught that last night where I was talking about, you know, how I viewed this situation. Separation. It's time to remove and sever ties with that no longer fits your newly activated light. Cut the cords of societal programming, toxic people, and difficult memories that hold back your light using the element of air. This decreases your energetic load. Air is your brain, right? You have to work through the thoughts now. You see how this works? How you work through the elements, and that's what I had said last night. Do you see how this all works inside of you guys? Do you know how these elements, I didn't say the word elements, but that's how it works, all right? So then you have to reprogram your mind. Gate 4. After separation, it's time to reunite and harmonize with your mind with the physical and spiritual through the element of earth. Self-acceptance and the empowerment are the key. That means you have to take this new you and walk in it. Make it a reality. Start planning your life around this new reality. Okay? Then we move on. Gate 5. This is where I'm at right now on a moon day. Putrefaction, decay, death, rotting away describes the putrefaction stage. While it may sound morbid, this is when remaining internal darknesses rise to the surface. Shadows of the soul are visible, causing difficult emotions. As stated by psychoanalyst Carl Jung in Psychology and Alchemy, this is where we purge the darkness of our mind. Stop there. On a moon day, we are in our mind and in our emotions. By definition, we're in all of the elements, but we're not. We're in the subconscious of the elements. So, even though I dealt with one thing yesterday, right? I dealt with one triggering situation, which was with my teenager. It brought up all of these repressed stuff. And all of that laying under that was a fear of coming close to another man, because this is what it comes to. Like what? In the midst of all that, here comes all my shadows of my fears of intimacy with another man because of everything I've been through, not just raising my children, but the men that I had children with and the way that I was judged for having children, and God wants me to have children and love you, and I am just like not fucking with it. But I am, because I do this work every day. But when these shadows come up, it's the last thing. I'm like running away. Typically on a Monday, I want nothing to do with a man. You can look at most all of my videos. When do I tell them to talk to me? On a Thursday. You got like one day that I'm good, dude, to get me. Tuesday, God who gives me strength. But that's the whole crisis, is changing all of this. Changing all of these ways that I view men and situations. But there's an outside situation that's always going to have to go back, and I have to fix that shit. Confirmation. What is that? Reminder, I don't know. Oh God, I'm in the school's text messaging. They're going to be texting me all the time. Lovely. Anyway, so, you know, you rip off one, you know, it's a surgical procedure, right? You're going in, I'm just going to use my teeth as an example. You're going in to get your tooth pulled, but by the time you leave there, your whole neck and head and jaw and everything is done for. You can't even stand up. You went for one simple thing, dude. You went to try to fix one problem, bro. And the side effects may include, oh God. And that's in my other book of mine, which I'm not gonna, okay, I guess I will. Let me describe this in full, you know, and this is what it is. They left the keys all hidden everywhere else. Like, nobody could just put it all in one book. I gotta put it all together in one book for everything. Where's that book? Where's that book? We were in it yesterday. Come on, into it. What's going on? Let's get into that. Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. That's not where we're supposed to be. Where's this shit? Messages? Are you seeing number messages? We saw those yesterday. Did you see all the 808s and the 818s? I was like, this is a huge portal opening. What happened? Ooh, the Pope. The Pope went through the portal. And then I sit there and I see like, damn, bro, he even died at 88. I got 10 more years on that. I died at 99. Whoosh. He met his creator, bro. How come they keep saying Easter Monday? It's Easter Sunday, yo. Meaning he had, you know, that was a good time. Like they worked that out. That was in his contract. That'll be his last Sunday. He'll be there for Easter and then he'll leave. He'll have to find a new leader. That's a cool thing. I think that's cool how God worked it. All right, here we are. Where am I going through? Alchemical, sorry, my hand's in the way. I can't see the camera's turned sideways. I should turn it the right way, but I got the phone on it. This is what happens after you start digging this shit up, dude. Your spiritual growth is changing your mind, your body, and your soul, and it's very real. It helps you fulfill your aspect in your divine destiny, and you're awakening spiritual talents and attracting new energies. This process may bring tremendous joy. Not at first. The alchemy of empowering gift of love, symptoms of this process can sometimes be challenging. They may include headaches and other aches and pains. Why? Because these memories were hidden in your chakra system. Right? All of your invisible points that run down your spine. You've just shook the system, dude. You shook the waters. You shook the shit out of the cage. You know what I mean? Literally, you took one of those fucking leaf blowers and blew all this shit out and surface. And you didn't even, you know what I mean? All these fucked up feelings. So I just want to explain that that's what happens. You rip off, you know what I mean? When they go into, you know, mess with your kidney, they go through all these layers and it hurts all layers of your body. Understand that. It's not that simple, bro. This isn't surface. This shit is buried deep down, didn't even know it was in, you know, what part of town, dude. And when you rip that shit out, literally, imagine, I'm seeing The Little Mermaid, when they rip her voice out of her, how they have to, like, literally pull it out of deep inside of her. It's like, they ripped her soul out, bro. Okay. Anyways, it includes headaches and other aches and pains, flu-like symptoms, inexplicit and nearly overwhelming fatigue that lasts for days and then suddenly vanishes, along with surge of new energy. May also experience pinging in the ears, increased sensitivity to light or sound, hormonal imbalances, hot flashes, excessive sexual energy, mental obsessions, mood swings, aggression, and unintentional harsh reactions to people. Like, damn, yeah, this is why God took you to the woods, so you could do this by yourself and not do this to other people. But yeah, how often does this happen? It's part of the whole process, bro. The alchemical mutation. With every transformation is an alchemical mutation, bro. It hurts your fucking body, bro. The shit I talked about last night, it hurt me to sleep. I woke up hurting. I was foggy and I was tired and I felt like I was sick and I was upset and I was just, super depressed. And the last thing, everything hurt. Stay away from me. Everything hurts. You know what I mean? In that sense. And then I sent my kids off to school, which is overreaction, dude. I'm sitting here like, my son doesn't have lunch till 1:30. He's going to be starving. I hope the kids are being nice to them. I hope they find each other at the end. They didn't have their phones. I hope they can find their way back. I'm such a fucking, you know what I mean? A whole fucking worry rat. In that sense, it's like, damn, I hope they eat the lunch. I hope it's not something they don't eat and they don't go hungry all day and da-da-da-da-da-da. Got all these fucking worries and shit on top of the fact. And, unintentional harsh reactions to people. That happens too when you're not feeling so good. And then to top it off, dude, she started her moon cycle. So then I'm super worried about her. I hope she can make it through the day and, you know what I mean? And then she's going to be mean. I hope she's not mean to people. I hope she's not crying. I hope her fucking, her womb isn't killing her throughout her first day of school. And even if it doesn't kill her the first day, it's going to kill her the second or the third. I'm very magical, but I haven't figured out how to stop this for either of us. So terrible, right? What is that? That's karma like a motherfucker, bro. What do you mean? It's not okay how she acts with me. And that's what I told my daughter last night. She's gonna fucking do that shit in public, bro. And she's gonna fuck around and get locked up or something. Because she's fully unaware of what she's doing when she acts like that. She completely loses control of herself. And she throws the biggest fucking fit. In public, she doesn't even realize where she's doing it. And it's like, she's gonna do that somewhere and she's gonna get herself in a lot of fucking trouble. What way to push her than put a period on her ass? And all of the intensity of a new school. Damn, right? Do I want that for her? No, it's my job to do everything to keep her calm during the next couple days, bro. It's like, no wonder she blew up like an asshole yesterday. About to start a period. Holy shit. She's got a lifetime of those, bro. A lifetime of those. We gotta get something. We gotta figure out some science about this. It's not just her emotions, bro. I'm talking about the pain she's gonna endure, and that makes the emotion, everything outside, more difficult to deal with. I just want to point that out. That's what I'm going through. It's like, I dug up some fucked up, a bunch of fucked up memories came up, and it came up with more fucked up memories and more fucked up feelings, and it's all fucked up. Fuck it up. Okay. Now let's start with, why are we talking about this? Well, we do this all the time. That's what I am. I'm your spiritual healer and teacher. Okay, so when I started doing this, so I worked through so many layers of it, you know what I mean, where I silenced the mind, started to hear other things, right? And that's where I became the rest that comes with it. The seer, the shaman, the mystic, the medium. I started working through my conscious till I became my unconscious. I am the unconscious. I'm the unconscious self, the higher self, the soul behind the brain. The brain is the conscious, how it thinks. I'm the soul behind it, but I work through all of those patterns to become the soul. Now as the soul, things outside of the world trigger the thinking patterns that are still inside of the brain, and I have to work through those patterns. I teach you how I went from all patterns, breaking all patterns, to now just working through the patterns. And then I show you how it is. It just, you know what I mean? Something outside, as it says, something in the outside world triggers you. And this is where it gets to work. Alright, so where I'm at right now, shadows of the soul are visible, right? So what came up this morning? All of my insecurities about men. It had nothing to do with children. It went straight to men. All about men. If I would have never given myself to men, I wouldn't have lost my life like this. It's the only mistake I ever think I made, was loving people. And so you can see how I'm very tight with my love. I don't want to give my love out because it ends in ruin. I get heartbroken. I will heal, and that's that video you saw from the Sagittarius. We're just built like this. We're beast-like. We're gonna take it, but we're gonna move on with it. You know what I mean? We're beast-like. That's the best way I can say it. But right now, that's what it is. It's like one shadow equals all the shadows. All right, gate 6. You are now embodying your true essence. This is where the new spirit works with the physical body and becomes one. You are stepping into your soul's gold. And that's where the soul talks down the mind. So yesterday my mind made this a big deal, but I couldn't understand why it was so big. I mean, I did what I could in the moment, which is, handle this differently. But I saw my emotional reaction in it, and then after I had a conversation, I realized that the emotional reaction was so intense because this was not a first off. Not with this daughter, not with these kids. This is, this is built up and this and that. So, during that time, as I told you, my mind is projecting that I've always been a bad parent. They've always never seen me good enough. People have always done this type of shit to me. This is how it always goes. Everybody's always turning against me. My best isn't good enough for people. Then the soul comes in and says something different. Which is what? Nurturing. Compassion. Forgiveness and understanding. For who? Myself. This is exactly what destroyed my mother, my brother, and most parents. The guilt and the shame of not being good enough for your children. Kills you. It kills you because you know you could have been better. I have a little bit of a difference there because I know now I could be better, but I don't know where I was where I was with you. As my daughter says, I would have whooped her ass. I haven't been whooping her ass. She's like, you would have whooped our ass. In what way? I'm not ready to talk about that. What do you mean I whooped your ass? Like my mom whooped my ass, or like how'd I whoop your ass? What do you mean I whooped your ass? I didn't whoop her ass. What do you mean? And that's what I said. I feel it. I feel like I want to fucking, push you the fuck out of my face. You better get the fuck out of my face and quit screaming in my fucking face, little girl. The fuck out of my face. And she's cornering me like her dad. It's all domestic violence. I feel it, bro. I feel it. I'm watching it, dude. She's cornering me. She wants to get her fucking point across, and she's making me small, and she's in my face, and she's pushing me. Like, she wants me to fucking push her. She wants me to do something. And then I push her out of my way, and she's like, don't you be putting your hands on me. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm about to choke you out. I feel it. I haven't touched you yet. And I don't know. And in that sense, it's like, all of this is coming up. What? Putrefaction. But as it all comes up again, the mind sees what the mind, the mind's telling me something, and I'm telling my spirit something. My spirit's telling my mind, and that's where you work through this new self. All right? So this is where this new spirit works with the physical body and becomes one. And there's a lot of those. Those you can catch real fast, where I'm in it crying, and I'm like, my mind is saying all bad things about it, and then I take a breath, and my spirit comes back and nurtures it and builds it up. Meaning, this is going to happen again with the next kid, and nobody ever has accepted me, and it doesn't matter if it's my kids or my brother or my lover or anyone, they always do this to me, is what you saw project out of there. And then the soul comes in and, calms it down. Because if you're in that mind state, it's a I want to die, there's no hope. When it's in everybody's against you, that's where anger takes over. That's where, And that's where you can say things that you'll super regret. That's where things can get real sour. When I lost control in one of those moments with my sister, and I said something that I can never take back, and I don't know if we'll ever talk in this life because of what I said. I've told that story before. I don't feel like telling that story again. But in the essence, that's what happens. What makes a person go crazy? A trigger. What's a trigger? Something outside of you happens, and it sparks a subconscious pain that you're not even aware of. And you go into self-preservation mode, self-defense, self-sabotage, whatever. They said something, you smelt something, somebody did something, and now you go from the now into a subconscious wound, and you react that wound. You react that moment from a different moment that's not even happening in this moment. You've literally left your mind, you left the moment of now and went into a pain of your mind, but you don't even realize it. And all of us can describe it, where there's somebody in our face asking us, why are you acting all fucking crazy? All I did was, and we're screaming at the top of our lungs in their face, or we're running around, or we're like, no, you don't fucking get it. You just don't fucking get it. You fucking do this shit all the fucking time. And that's it, you snap. Is it really this moment that made you snap? Nah, bro. As the doctor told me when I had my first panic attack, the body and the mind cannot hold in the pain forever. It really wasn't that. It was just a straw. It was a simple needle that broke the fucking camel's back, bro. A simple moment that makes you go berserk, because there's something in you that, you know what I mean, that they touched. They touched a nerve. And you went crazy. And so we stop those moments. We catch ourselves in those moments. You can't know what your triggers are until you're triggered. Because you don't even know that you're so bothered by shit until something comes and bothers you. You're perfectly fucking fine until something bothers you. And how bothered do you get? And how long does it take you to calm down? And what are your reactions to when you get bothered? That's what we work through on all levels, bro. We're learning to be unbothered. Control our mind, control our emotions. Be unbothered. And so I've learned to master this. I mean, obviously from other lives, but I had to do it. I had to start applying it in this life as a first time too. You know what I mean? And I learned the journey. I learned how this is how it works. Some of them can last way longer. Some of them I can blow through in like an hour or two. You'll never believe what I just went. I call them ego deaths. Real fast. We've got to take in. This shit's hurt me real bad. It fucked up my brain. I brought up a bunch of fucked up memories. I had to process them and move on with this new reality. That you're not this person. I'm not this person. This isn't the truth. I have to walk in a new perception of what it is. And in that Sagittarius video, it said, we can rewrite history with you not in it. Meaning, I think so much of you. But once I see the truth, I have to think a different way and walk in that way. And walk the fuck away from you. And I can't see it the way I saw it before, because now I look at the way I see things now. That's what Bobby said. He's like, there's one thing I know about you. Your feelings are you're always changing. Meaning, yes, I really love you, and then I really hate you. Do I really hate you? Or do I hate that every time I get close to you, it brings up every fucking pain of everything that ever happened to me before you? And that's what a twin flame does. And as much as I like to say it's Bobby, no, dude, most of it is Russ. But all of them, dude, they all have a way of bringing out a piece of me that is so torn and damaged and raw and broken. It's like, I really do love you, dude, but every time I look at you, this is gonna hurt me so bad. And yet I do. God will be like, go look at Russ, please, God. He's gonna bother me. He always bothers me. He's such a bother. Please don't bother me with this. And that's what I mean. I have to learn not to be bothered by him or by anyone. He's the biggest tool in my teachings, dude. And that's what it is. It's like, nobody's gonna bother me like this guy. But if I can keep overcoming that bothersome, and he sinks to new levels, bro. New levels, new devils. Just when I think that I've overcome and I can be kind and this type of shit don't bother me, find another fucking way to bother me, bro. The problem is he does it on purpose. Other people don't try. They don't even know that I'm hurting. He knows, dude. He looks for ways to bother me. Which in essence, it's helping me, because then I can, finally I can face this petty part of me that gets flared up every time you or someone else like you does this. So he gets the little rise, but I rise higher from this. And that's it. It's like we go out there just to be pushed inside. That world is just to make us go back into our own world and fix it. Until we can fully go out there and not be bothered by their world. But it's their world. Ugh. That's it. Be of this world, live in this world, but don't be of it. I'm not of this bullshit. I'm not with this shit. All right, anyways, now gate 8 is sublimation. The soul is lifting and ascending like vapor during this phase. There's a union between the body and the spirit's essence. And that's where your mind goes with what your spirit says. We don't have a conversation anymore. When I'm like, all right, I'm like, I want to go. The brain's like, let's go. It doesn't come up with, oh, we shouldn't do it because of X, Y, Z. There are sometimes, and those are fears. Sometimes it's logical, sometimes it's just illogical, but it's not an argument. And that's where you have to get your mind to trust your heart, where it's seen enough that it trusts. The mind doesn't trust. It's learned that. We can't trust. Every time we trust, this doesn't work. So you learn to, you know what I mean? You learn to teach the mind to trust in the unknowing and that it'll work, and then it becomes secure. It still worries. It's a child. It's still like, but what if this happens? No, it's not going to happen. You're being crazy. In the sense of, you don't tell yourself you're being crazy. You say, no, because God wouldn't let that happen. You put it on God. You make the mind reminded what it's knowing of God, what it knows of God, the promises. You make your mind lean on the promises of God. And that's I'm gonna end in this after that. But I want to walk you through this. Fermentation. Like when grapes turn to wine, this is the maturity and aging process of your new way of being. Gold must be aged to become more powerful. This is reinforcing those patterns, right? So in the sense of, if I say, I'm not going to talk to him no more, it doesn't mean I don't want to. I'm used to talking to you every day. Now I have to follow this new way. I said no. And the mind's like, you know, at that time, it's that time of day again. We got to call him. No, you listen, you know, I said no. And then you start, you know, the mind knows that if it says it, I'm going to say no. So it's not even going to bring it up anymore. It knows the answer. And that's it. It's like, you know, it's a battle for a minute. But, you know, the aging process of the new way of being. After a while, it'll stop trying to, you know. So, like, if you're fasting, right? You're going to go to the kitchen on pattern. Religiously, like you always do. You will literally unconsciously walk yourself in there, be staring at the refrigerator, and have to tell yourself, I'm fasting. Oh, yeah. And then you'll literally, there's times you'll just unconsciously pick something up. You know, if you have kids and shit, there's snacks, there's shit all over, you have fruit, you have stuff. You'll literally put it in your mouth. After a bite, you'll be like, oh shit, I'm fasting. And you have to throw it out, spit it out. You don't just say, well, I mean, maybe if you're weak, you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to fucking eat this shit. You do it unconsciously, bro. Because when you're standing there in front of the fridge and you're like, I'm so hungry, again, you're like, I'm fasting. Right? So when your mind's like, and that was, you know, homegirl that I don't talk to no more. She's like, I don't know why I keep doing it. No, you know why, because it's part of the pattern. But when you're doing it, you have to stop yourself. Say, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. You might still end up there, but if you tell your mind enough times, it'll start listening to you. And I was like, if you're on your way to do what you don't want to do, then call me and I'll show you how to do something else. We'll distract your mind from doing what it thinks you're supposed to do every time. And that's where it is the more you start reinforcing this new way, it becomes the new way. And that's the fermentation, right? All right, number 10. Exhalation. Joy, abundance, happiness, and wealth can manifest during this stage. This is a stage of accomplishment where you're like, I made it. You look up and you realize you've broken the habit. And it feels good. You're like, damn, I feel good. And that was the third post that I posted. It's like, you know, I miss him, but I really enjoy not having my life ruined by 9 a.m. in the morning. Meaning there's times a day I get bored and I miss companionship. But I really enjoy my fucking freedom. I walked on eggshells for 10 years. Whatever you say, whatever it took just to keep you happy. If I kept you happy, we keep the peace. Anything you say. Just as long as you're not crazy and acting up and yelling at me and running out of the house with all the money or doing drugs or getting drunk or fucking bringing in women and whatever you say, bro. When it was all done, I didn't know how to live because I just, you know, every time he'd walk out of my life, oh God. It would be the biggest blow up every time. You know what I mean? Shit ruined, all kinds of shit. And I'm just sitting there crying. I don't know what to do with myself, so I would focus myself on cleaning for the first 3 hours, just picking up all the pieces, you know what I mean, put everything, you know, he'd rip up the clothes and act like a fucking fool, pack bags, all kinds of shit. And then the next day, it's like, what do I do now? I'm used to fucking waking up and serving you breakfast. I'm used to fucking following you around, like, you know what I mean? What do I do now? I gotta get a job. I don't, and I would just sit there like, oh God. And it was, dude, that shit would happen so fucking often. But you gotta find a new way of life. You're not gonna sit there waiting for him to come back. After what happened, you just like, you kind of do, though. I would sit there thinking he'd come back every time. Did he ever? Nah, bro. Not never. Why would I think he would come back for a fight like that? I'd sit there for hours, wondering if he would come back. I couldn't sleep, because I would be afraid he'd come back. He never ever did. But I always thought he would. And then I'd start living my life and move on. Just, you know, keep my head down. And then he'd fucking pop back up. And I'd forget everything. Go back to being, you know, program service bitch. Service dog. Like nothing happened, bro. Walk in and he just walks back into my life. Moves back into my bedroom. Starts, you know what I mean, telling me how to shop, what to cook. You know what I mean? All in my phone, everything. Like he never left, bro. He just take over my life again and I just let him. Whatever you say. Who are you talking to? What are you wearing? Change everything, dude. Stop dressing like that. Stop going outside. Buy whatever he says we have to buy. I just had it so bad. So when I think about a relationship, I can only think about the relationships I've ever had. I've never seen anything outside of it. I know in my memory. You're like, you're going to show me a better relationship? I'd like to see that. That'd be something to see. But anyways, gate 11. This, to become an expert alchemist, you must repeat this process. This is when you revisit past stages and implement the Magnum Opus daily to strengthen the new self. Do it all the time, guys. Old stuff. It just keeps coming back. There's just levels of it. You're still kind of sour about it. It's the best way I can describe it. You're all forgiving, but there's still some hurtness. There's still some pain. There's still some lingering, some vapors. There's still some shadows around this. It's like, how much more of this do I have to keep, you know, thinking about like body. It's like, how much more pain and suffering is hidden behind this guy? Like, really, though? And that's how I feel about these twin flames. It's like, how much more are you going to bring out of me? And I'm grateful for the relationship because of what it makes me, but it's a terrible relationship. They're terrible in the fact of, all you do is make me hurt. And I gotta sit alone by myself, crying and healing all by myself. Like, but in essence, it's like, I don't need this. I do. How am I ever gonna remember? I can't. That's the second part they don't like. No, you remember. I don't. I need you to help me remember what's happened to me in my life. And what's making me remember is because you're in it, but you don't want to do the same work. So that's even twice as hard. It's like, this is your problem I'm looking at that happens to be a problem I dealt with fucking 20, 30, 15 years ago. So now I'm going to deal with it. I hope you're dealing with it too. Absolutely motherfucking not. Then I come out of it, I've dealt with it, and I look at them, and they're still that person. Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. I wonder why I call you a bitch. Anyways, last stage. This is the last and final phase when you have achieved the Philosopher's Stone. That's what I told you the other day. The desired result of alchemy. You can project your true essence into the world with ease, and this high frequency is mirrored back to you with support, abundance from the universe. That's what they said about the true Sagittarian. I want to show you that it's support and abundance from the universe. Yeah, it comes through people, but it's from the universe. I'm putting out goodness, so they're giving me back goodness. You put out negativity, you get negativity. That's it. As above, so below, you shall reap what you sow. Even if you're not even actually taking action, it's it. What do you think? Right? So I started doing all this. And I got this book. Oh, I should be doing it like this. You can't really see it because of the way the camera is. There it goes. And this started walking me through what they call is the dark night of the soul. It says on the bottom of it, the alchemy of transformation. I didn't get these oracles. They didn't make these oracles until 2 years later. So it's like I have to piece this shit together. Sorry, that wasn't very nice. all by myself and find these pieces, the hidden Reese's pieces of, you know what I mean, this journey that's hidden in philosophy, it's hidden in science, it's hidden in medicine, it's hidden in religion, it's hidden in erotesic, it's hidden in, you know what I mean, everyday living. I have to put it all together, and I'm gonna, you know, I write the book about it, but it's not my book. It's bringing all the teachings, the one religion together. It was hidden everywhere. Everybody has a piece to this puzzle that makes us whole again, right? So after we work through all these conscious thoughts, when your conscious is clean, then you're left with the unconscious, and that's where all of the magic happens. And that's your soul. You're back to that oneness, connected to the oneness of all things. And that's how I can be a messenger of God and go back to all the different times in space, and I can travel, astral project, do all that extra cool shit that I tell you and I show you. Because I'm not in my mind. When memories come in the mind, I go through them exactly as I just described through that. We've got work to do. The rest of the time, my mind is clear, and I'm in the subconscious, which is in the soul, and the soul has no limitations. My body is here, but I'm able to travel. As you guys do, you travel through your mind, through your memories, through the past and the present and the future. I do it infinitely and not limited to this reality, because I can see past this reality. I can see, you know what I mean, all of that. But when the mind turns on and I'm stuck in the here and now of what happened in this life, I have to get through it in order to go back to the limitlessness of what I was, or what I am. So little by little, as I teach you to work through your memories and your thoughts, you start opening up into your, what they call your higher self. They say that you're embodying your higher self, because that's really who you truly are behind this shadow of yourself that you've created. You've hidden behind situations and created this version of yourself that is not truly who you are. It's just a mask or a wall that you put up to society to protect yourself. And you take it down. What's behind the curtain? What's behind this wall I've built up? This projection of myself that I'm so hard. You know what I mean? And little by little. Now, I didn't know exactly what we're going to talk about because I'm just sitting in it. And they're like, we'll talk about what you're sitting in. Cool. And then this came in. This is called self-realization. This is what we do. I was like, where do I start? Because this is a whole huge conversation about a guru teaching a cardinal from the church their beliefs. It's a whole thing. Then I went to here, and I'll show you what I mean. Like, you see how it says it's, the guru and then a person, and the guru and a person. And here it's usually the cardinal. Where's the cardinal? See? He's talking to cardinals and students and stuff. It's just conversations. But we wanted to go to this. Can you see any of this? Nope, because the camera's over here. We wanted to go to the highest level of love on page 294. And I'm going to end on this note and have some breakfast or something. Spiritual life means to be associated with the Supreme Lord and to exist in bliss and knowledge eternally. Such eternal association is to play with Krishna, to dance with the love Krishna, oh Krishna, can become your child, whatever you like. Unless one can love Krishna, unless one finishes with love for cats, dogs, countries, nations, and society, instead of concentrates his love on Krishna, there's no question of happiness. Okay, now, they're God. So we can easily say Jesus. The absolute Lord, and that's it. These were all lords. These are all gods of people in this time. God above all gods, all answering to our God who art in heaven. You must understand that there's Supreme Lord, and then there's all of these lords. So even here it says Krishna is the Lord of love, but Vishnu is the Lord of the universe. Buddha was the Lord of compassion. Okay? But then you go through this, and then it depends on what side of the world you learned and whose name. And that's what I teach you. Buddha is the same of Christ, and no matter how you look at it. Different time. Was it the same incarnation? Are they the same ascending masters? Was he the same body each time? Go to the Akashic records for that. But in the essence, it's like, I've always been the dark goddess. Dark goddess after dark goddess after dark goddess after dark goddess. I've always been in the dark goddess. Am I not the light goddess? Yes, but not in form. Once I'm put in form, I become dark, just like you. Just like you, my friends. We're a fragment of light before we took form. It's the form that made us dark. We have to shine our light through the form that we wear, and not wear that. Meaning, you put on an outfit. Everybody puts on a fucking, you know what I mean? We all work at fucking Walmart. We all gotta wear the vest. Who wore it better? The one that was authentic. That's it. We all wear the skin. Doesn't matter. We all get a skin. Oh, what color is your skin? Oh, you got Indian skin. That's cool, dude. I'm a whole white broad this time in life. I'm American. They made me American. What are you? What kind of skin did they give you? Oh, yeah? Who is you? You know what I mean? It's just skin. You don't own the skin, and the skin doesn't own you. The skin has programming that you work through, right? You said you were going to be this person. You put on poverty. You put on addiction. You put on affliction. You put on pain and suffering. You put on some Jesus suit. You put on a Jesus suit, and you thought you was going to be Jesus? Shit, I'm trying. Nobody said it was going to be this hard to wear this fucking skin, bro. It's just skin, bro. It's just skin. Anyways, let's move on. If one protects the tender creeper of devotional service nicely, then gradually he produces a fruit of unalloyed love for God. I don't know what that word means. Unalloyed. What does that mean? Love for God, oh, it says right here, means love that is not tinged by desire for material benefit, for mere philosophical understanding, nor his fruitive results. And that's why people chase, you know what I mean, God. They chase Jesus. Why do you go to church? Desires for material benefit. God's going to make your life better. For philosophical understanding. To understand what God wants from you. No fruitive results. Meaning for you to be godly. You do that to go to school. You go to God's church. It's a school of God. To become these things, though. Not because you love Him, but because you want these things. And that's what I say to you. I say to all of you. You get on your knees and you pray to God. They tell you to get on your knees and do such things. What do you ask for? Do you not ask for such things? God, I really want that car. Shut up, Big Sean. Shut up. Jeez. Whatever you really want. I want my kids to get off of drugs. I want my lover to come back to me. Spring love, come back to me. I heard it real loud. Why are you asking God to give you things that He's taken away? Because you lack faith. You lack to see. You're asking Him to give you back a boyfriend that He took away. And you wonder why, you wonder why He's not coming back. So what do? You go and chase Him. And you do whatever it takes to get Him back. Despite the fact that God said no. So this is no good for you. And He's shown you it's no good for you. That the relationship had to end. But you're begging God to make it come back. To put you back in the torture. Because you'd rather be in the torture than to be alone. To have to start all over. But God said, you got this wrong. You need to start over. This is no good for you. I don't want a better life for you. And yet, you still keep going back to it. That would be me and my, domestic violence patterns. I left, and He left, and God kept coming in and destroying this, and I kept trying to fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it, God. I'll do anything, God. I'll marry him. I'll do anything. I'll fast. I'll do anything, God. Just make this work. I want us to work. I just want this to work, God. And He'll show you it's not working. This is not working. This is not working. I'm not working with you. I'm not working against you. It doesn't work. So you sit there and you ask God for all these things. Now, if you're asking Him for a car, He's not going to just, here's your brand new car. If you want that new car, He's going to tell you how to get that new car. But you have to do the work to get that new car because you have to work for things in the physical world. Just kind of how it works. But you're asking for God for things to make your life better, not realizing that that's all He does. You're asking Him to work harder. You're begging Him to work. You're begging Him to change His works because it's not working. You're asking Him to take your kid off of drugs. Did you put your kid on drugs? Is he not there protecting your kid while your kid is on drugs? If your kid dies on drugs, is he not going to be there to take him home? You're asking God to be more than God. Like, you don't trust God, that God's watching out for your kid. He can't stop your kid. Neither can you. He's actually God's kid to begin with. This is what your kid has to overcome. Can you remember overcoming drugs? Some people had the ability to not touch it. That wasn't in their life contract that they were going to be that person. The rest of us, we said we could overcome this. Everybody does it. I want to try drugs. I want to try drugs and alcohol. I'll be all right. I can overcome it. Are you sure? Most people don't. No, I'm stronger than most people. I can do it. Okay. Well, there's a drug addict family. You'll fit great in them. Get ready. In the sense of these generational curses, you didn't ask for them, but you kind of did. You asked for the challenge. You said you were up for the challenge. You could put on this kind of karma, and you could overcome. I could be Christ-like. I could be Christ-like. I could be Christ-like. Oh man, it's really hard. This is a lot harder than I thought. It'll be all right. You'll get it right one of these lives. Can I just stop trying? No, you said you were going to do this. And as I said that, I saw the 27 Club. Yeah, guys, they got to come back and do it. How are they going to do it? Less temptation. They'll still have to overcome it. Drugs and alcohol will be here for quite some time. Why? Because it's actually, it was meant to be fun. It wasn't meant to be a curse. Everything is meant to be fun before it becomes a curse. God gave us great things, but then we overindulge and it becomes a curse. You know what I mean? Everything's fun in the beginning. He didn't say, you're not going to hell because you did cocaine for the first time. You're not going to hell because you've been doing cocaine for 20 years. Have you not prayed to him and asked him to help you? Is he trying? Is he trying? Are you trying? Any drug addict that overcomes it will always tell you that it was God that helped me. I couldn't do it on my own. You can't. Give yourself some, you know what I mean? Forgive yourself, but also turn to God who will give you strength to overcome such things. And that's it, is you put your knowing in him. And that's it. It's like, I don't think I can do this. And he reminds you that people have done this before and you can do that. That's that Kobe inside of you. That's your higher self telling you can do things you don't think you can do. Making the impossible possible inside of you when your mind says that it's impossible. Bringing hope to a hopeless situation. It's inside of you. And some people can come and speak that life into you too. Right, so stop begging God for what God is doing. He's doing. See what he's doing, learn his lesson, catch his blessing. Alright, he is my supreme lovable object. This conscious is the highest perfection of human life and the ultimate aim of all methods and self-realization. If one reaches this point, God is my only beloved, Krishna is the only lovable object. We could say Jesus, you could say whoever your God is. My God is an awesome God. Whoever, put whatever name. Blank is the only lovable object. Then one's life is perfect. Meaning, we were made. There's a song that Toby Mac wrote. It's like, I was made to love you. I was made to find you. I was made just for you. Made to adore you. I was made to love and be loved by you. You were waiting for me. You came before me. Never would you leave me. I can't remember all the words. But that's what we're here to do, is find God and love him. And let him love us. That's it, bro. People are going to fail us. God will never fail us. His love will never fail us. And when you learn to love God, that's the biggest thing he does. Go love them now. Oh, God, they're going to hurt me. No. Come on. You can do this. Go love somebody. You got love. You got it in you. I know you got it in you. Go be kind. Go show somebody some love. Okay, God. And that's what it is. You fill up with this love for him, and you guys are filled with love for each other, and now he wants you to share that love with everyone. And that's what it was. Jesus' love for God. He spread that love with everyone and explained to you that Krishna, this whole book, it's all about when you learn to love God and that love between you and the divine, right? And then being able to love yourself enough to go love another person. Because who's holding you back from loving people? I don't be nice to them. Fuck them. They ain't worthy of my time. Fuck them. Fuck them. Is that me or is that you? That's us. And we weren't made like that. We became like that because people rejected our love or abused our... What they didn't do is they didn't reciprocate it. They didn't love us back. And nobody can love us like God. And nobody can love us like we love ourselves. That's why self-love is important. Nobody's going to know how to love you right. You can tell them a million times, but they're not. You have to love yourself right. And then their love is just great. It's like, well, I've never had someone else's love. I've never had someone love me like I love me. And how do they learn? Because they watch how you love yourself. They learn how to love you how you love you. They treat you how you let other people treat you. You know what I mean? They push the boundaries. If he said something rude to you and you allowed it, then those rude comments are going to continue. If you tell him, don't talk to me like that, that hurts my feelings, then he's either going to have compassion and respect this boundary. You might have to remind him, hey, remember what I said? That hurts my feelings. You know, you might have to reinforce this. But that's where it is. It's like, you know, the love. You teach them how to love you. What, you know what I mean? What your boundaries are, what you like and what you don't like. And if they love you, they'll work with you and they'll, you know what I mean? It's a working together. I only know how to love one way, and if this might be too much, you have to teach me how to love you. Otherwise, I'm going to love you the only way I know how. And some people don't know how to love because the person before didn't want their love or rejected their love, didn't like them to be clingy, didn't like them to pay for stuff, didn't like certain things. You know what I mean? So they don't know how to handle you. They've only handled loving one person one way, and maybe lots of people all the same way as their pattern is. Right? It's very, and it comes with God. You know what I mean? How can I love everybody? Because I love God, bro. And I feel his love for you. And I see how he wants me to see you in a loving way with compassion. I see you through the eyes of an angel. And then I'll sit in my own skin and make fun of you because I'll tell you how I feel about it. But the true thing is, you know, I can see you with love. Whose love? God's love, bro. I can see you through, you know, God's love is compassion. I can have compassion, not in my own skin, but when God steps in and he shows me. And that was yesterday. It's like, dude, why are they dressed like that? Why do they act like that? And here comes God. Because they're children. Let me show you. Let me show you what's wrong with them and why it's all right. You know what I mean? And it starts with having a relationship with him. And when, let's see. And when one tastes that transcendental relationship with God, then one feels real happiness. The devotion creeper will be so strongly protected that just a catching hold of it one will only be able to reach the supreme destination. If one climbs steadily up a tree, one eventually comes to the very top. Similarly, if one can achieve love of Godhead by catching that devotional creeper, I don't know why they keep calling that. We just turned into the middle of the book. There's no doubt that one will reach the transcendent adobe of God and will associate with him personally, just as we associate here face. And that's it. How do you have a connection with God? I went straight to him. I go straight to him. Jesus said I could. He told me how. He told me who he was. He told me where he is. He told me how. Let me say this again. For those of you that think you need to go to a church to find God, you needed that Pope. You know what I mean? No. There's no doubt that one will reach the transcendent adobe of God and will associate with him personally, just as we associate here face to face. And that's it. You hear me. I talk to God all the time. God talks straight to me. He always has. You just didn't know his voice. That's where I teach you how he speaks in synchronicities and through everything and everyone, how he's speaking. I teach you the voice of God. as the messenger. God is not fictional or imaginary. He is as real as we are. Actually, we are under illusion. We are living as if the body we were factual self. Although this body is not at all reality, but only a temporary manifestation. We dare to presume that there is no God or that he has no form. This mental speculation is due to poor fund of knowledge. Meaning those people that don't know God is because nobody's ever taught him what or he could be. And most of you in your religion are taught that he's in a person, that this person is God. And through this person you can find God. That's not what these guys said. None of them. That's that thing. I didn't say that. Jesus, I didn't say that. Alright, let's see. Where did I read that? God is not fictional. The fundamental, poor fund of knowledge. Lord Krishna, or God, and his Adobe exist. And one can go there, reach him, and associate with him. And that's where they said in the cards, they're mad because you have a direct line with God. I directly go to him all the time. Seek God in all things, is what they said. Yeah, I can go talk to Jesus. He's very compassionate and shit, but I go straight to the Father, bro. I know you're the creator. You did this, bro. You did this. One time I went and yelled at, dude, they're going to hang that over me for the rest of my life. I went straight to my spirit guides like they did this. And they looked at me like, I'm not fucking God. What? The fight between me and Marshall Mathers was really big. In my head, he was trying to calm me. It all happened inside of me. What? My knowing that I had gone too far and he'll never forgive me and it's all over and everything I've ever invested in, it's the end of my relationship with this man because I fucking said some shit that's just never forgivable. Why did I feel that way? Because of his reality. Everybody knows you don't talk to him like that. If he wouldn't have built up such a fucking strong wall, I would have never felt like I fucking crushed through it and he was going to destroy me. He built up this fear inside of me. Everybody. You know what I mean? There's people that don't talk to you because of that wall you built up. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you'll say and do. And that's where I was in that argument. It wasn't an argument. I was afraid of what you would say and do because of who you are. Not because of who I am, but because of who you walk in this skin. I was sure you were going to fucking walk out of my life because of who you are. That you wouldn't forgive me because of who you are. I wasn't wrong in freaking out. You created that illusion in everybody's mind that if they say the wrong fucking thing to you, you're going to destroy us and hurt us and walk away from us. And nobody else will ever talk to us either. Did you not do that to people their whole careers? I'm seeing Lindsay Lohan. What'd you do to her? I mean, don't get me wrong, her life sucks. She had a really hard life. But, like, you know what I mean? You made jokes about people that their lives ended up being real fucked up and hard. Like, people didn't recover from what you did. Why? Just because we couldn't talk to you that way? You had to destroy us? You had to hurt us in such ways? You didn't hurt me. But I'm just saying, I wear it, thinking about the people that you hurt before me, and that I was about to get hurt like them. But anyways, it was God. God put me into that position to fight this fear with him. To go beyond the place where nobody would ever go and talk to him about his daughter. You're not allowed to say shit about Haley, right? What does God make me bring up every time? I talk about her all the time. That's all we ever talk about anymore. Why? Because you need to face it. And he used me as the tool. Don't shoot the messenger. These are things you need to heal and hear. And nobody has ever been allowed to say such things to you. And God makes me be the brave one to come face you. Tell you to face this shit. You better not hurt me. And that's why he doesn't, because he shouldn't. But that took a lot of years, and you know what I mean? If I would have came at him, anybody would have. He would have destroyed you. He wasn't ready to face him. He would destroy you on sight if you said anything about him or his family. And, you know, going back to it, it's like, no, I go to God in all things, everything. What am I supposed to do, God? Jesus isn't going to tell me. And that's what I tell you. I sit here and it's all about my relationship with God. There's nobody else, bro. I try to build friends. And then here comes Muhammad Ali. I don't got no friends. I got God. But he never fails me. And yeah, he pushes me out there to be brave with his kids and go try to be friendly with his kids and be nice to his kids and go love his kids and treat his kids good and this and that. It's just a mother to his kids. They're not cool to me. Anyways, this is a fact. Spiritual life means to be associated with the Supreme Lord and to exist in bliss and knowledge eternally. Such eternal association means to play with God, to dance with and love God, or God can become your child, whatever you like. Now, every time I've said God in this, they say Krishna. Why am I not saying it? Because they say, I could say Jesus and totally change it. It's God, bro. Krishna could be your God. But if you look at the understanding of the patriarchy, once again, Krishna isn't the original God. He's the maintainer of the universe. Vishnu. Krishna is a form of Vishnu. But Vishnu is a form of what? God. They're all gods. Stop saying you know the one true God, bro. The one true God lies in everything and in everyone. You're all children of his God, regardless to what side of him you study. You need to understand all sides of God to know God. And that's what I do here. Trying to find just understanding God. And as you understand God, you understand yourself. As you understand yourself, you understand God and you understand his children. There are 5 primary relationships with Krishna. Now I'm going to say, every time I say God, Krishna, I'm going to say God. As a passive devotee, meaning you're just a passive, devotee of God. You're a servant of God, a friend of God, a parent, or as a lover. The cows of Krishna's adobe are also liberated souls. They are called Surabhahi cows. Surabhahi? I don't know. There are many popular pictures showing how Krishna where does it say? There are many popular pictures showing how Krishna loves his cows and how he embraces and kisses them. That passive relationship with Krishna is called Santa. The perfect happiness is achieved when Krishna comes and simply touches them. The other devotees are inclined to actually give service. They think Krishna wants to sit down. I will arrange a place for him. Krishna wants to eat. I will get him some nice food. They actually make these arrangements. Other devotees play with Krishna as friends on equal terms. They do not know that Krishna is God. To them, Krishna is a lovable friend, and they cannot forget him for a moment. That's me and Jesus, bro. Back to our, making jokes and shit about underwear and stuff. He's my friend. He's my brother from another mother. That's how I see Jesus. I really do. I look to him to how he dealt with God and God's dealings. He answers to the same God. He's my brother. But he's, in the sense of you find yourself worthy of God, of Jesus. Yes. I do. I aspire to. I'm not him. But I try to be like him. In essence, you would say he's my older brother, but he's not. He's my younger brother because I was created first. I was created first in God's image as goddess. He made all of us in his image, perfecting all of us. The perfect image was in many different cultures. That's what we learn here, is Krishna was the perfect image of God, Buddha, Jesus. Get out of there. Osiris. Then you had Baldur. They all had their own versions, a different name, but it was still the same spirit. Was there any difference in these spirits, bro? The more we read about them, we can't really, other than a time and space. And that's where we come into this. We were reading a book where their studies are not entirely true about the Buddha. Again, a same story. A man made God. A man enlightened. All the stories are how God took a regular person and made them a leader, made them in his image. But you were, in essence, if you really go back to the understanding, we always had it in us. He had to just awaken what was in us. Meaning, did he make us? Or he, what's that word I'm seeing? It's with fire. He molded us. He fit us into our molding, and that's through the fire. You know what I mean? The alchemical process of it. Our parents and, the reality that we wear is what you think makes you. But that's not what you're made of. Your outside is a projection of where you were made. That was your culture, your belief systems, all of that. But that's not what you're made of. That's not what God made you. That's what people made you. That's what the skin made you. That's what society made you. So we take all of this society masking of identity off of us. We talk that way because our mom taught us to talk that way. I've always pronounced it that way. And that goes back to the cool, you know what I mean? We all speak English, but what kind of English? Well, we talk like this because we're from the South. We talk like this, I have that West Coast lingo, but I can get, real jiggy with the fucking East Coast and shit. And that's it. Is we have, I have cultural, you can hear the different cultures that make my outside, but that's still not exactly who I am. Those are just impressions of time and space that I've been in. You know what I mean? It's like a war wound. If you live in a place long enough, you're gonna adhere to, you evolve. You know what I mean? Just like dogs. During the summer, they lose their coats. During the winter, they gain a big coat. You know what I mean? So when we go to places, we adapt. And we take those adaptations with us into life. And that's where there's a person like me that's traveled all kinds of places, and I'm very cultured. I've had many experiences where being in these experiences have made me who I am. Meaning I learned from many different ways of life. And that's the conscious. All of those learnings, all of that wisdom is locked in nothing but my mind. And my mind projects it in the way that I talk, the way things that I eat, how I dress. This sense of identity. This is who I am because of all the places that I've been. But it's not. You're not your experiences. You just identify as them. You put the skin on a little too heavy. And that's what it really is. Every time we have an experience, we become that experience. But it was just an experience to have. And once you take off the experience, you can have other experiences. So, going back to what happened yesterday. My daughter and I had a meltdown. What happened? My son, alright, this is where it all starts, with the fucking phones and the fucking chargers. And I've told you this is the biggest, it's still the same fucking problem. When the phone needs to be charged, get the fuck up, put it on the charger and get off of it. No, neither one of them want to. So now, like always, there's always, they break chargers. So now we've got both phones plugged into one charger, right? This one. Got two chargers on it, right? There's two cords. It's running through the wall. My son's connected to one, but he keeps pulling hers off. And she's getting furious that he keeps pulling it off the charger. So then he pulls it off again while I'm laying next to him. She just yelled at him to stop pulling it off. He pulls it off again, and she gets up and she whacks the shit out of him right in front of me. And I am pissed. I told you to stop fucking hitting him every time he doesn't do what you want. But she's pissed and I'm pissed. And now I'm pissed because neither one of you should be on this fucking phones on the fucking chargers. And I get up and I look. And so he's not only done it, he ripped the phone out of the charger. Half of the charger is stuck in her phone. My action to this is, fuck you and these phones. I'm taking them both. So I take both of their phones. I'm solving both of this. You're both going to pay for this. She's like, that's not fucking fair. He's the fucking one that keeps knocking it off the fucking charger, and you don't fucking do nothing. Did she use all those fuckings? No, a couple. And every time she cusses at me, I want to slap her in her mouth. As much as I cuss, you don't want to hear a little girl cussing it back at you. I know she uses that language. You don't use that language with me, dude. It sounds horrible. You don't fucking do nothing about it. Now she's in my face telling me how to parent, when she don't fucking listen to my parenting to begin with. You're the one that did this because you fucking hit him. You're no better because you shouldn't have your fucking phone on the charger. Neither one of you should be fucking doing this. I'm getting lit, bro. This is lit. This is lit. And she wants to go to war because I just took her fucking phone. And she is in my face telling me how I'm this and that and I don't fucking do shit and this and that. And I'm like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch, if you don't get out of my face. And I'm being bullied. I'm walking around the room and she's in my face, bro. Domestic violence in my face, bro. In my face. She's calling me out, bro. In my face. In my face, bro. You're all in your feelings, bro. You're all in this situation. It's not that big, bro. It's big for her. Because you know what I mean? Is she really fighting me about her phone? No, she's fighting me about who knows. Who really knows? At that moment, a period, I think, now that looking back at it, she's just pissed off. She was on the Xbox. Her phone was on the charger 10 feet away from her. And this whole fit went down because her phone, she couldn't hear her phone playing while she was on the Xbox because he kept pulling it off the charger. You're doing the fucking mostest, bitch. And he's doing the mostest, and all of you are doing the mostest, and you want to get in my fucking face because I won't hit him because he took your phone off the charger after I told both of you to stay off the fucking charger, and now you're running around telling me all this bullshit? Yeah, bro, you put the skin on and you forget who the fuck you are real quick. You get a little homicidal. Like, if you don't get out of my fucking face. And I'm like, she won't get out of my face, bro, and she's screaming, and she's screaming. If you don't stop screaming, they're gonna put us out. There are rules all over this place that domestic violence is an automatic discharge. Screaming, hitting, all of this. Stop screaming. Get out of my face. You're going to get us kicked out. She screams louder and louder and louder. If I don't get out of here, they're going to get kicked out. I'm not living in my car because you don't know how to shut the fuck up. She wants to be heard, screaming at the top of her lungs. All I can do is grab the kid, get out. If she doesn't stop, get out. So then I'm sitting in my car. God, what if they heard it, dude? What if they're going to kick me out for this? There's literally signs all over. No acts of violence, no domestic violence. This is a domestic violence. When you get this, when it becomes this, the police show up because they're screaming at each other. The neighbors can hear you screaming at each other. They're acting up. If the police come and you're screaming at the police, this is all domestic violence. Who are they going to take? Probably you, but we're all getting kicked out because you can't calm your fucking nerves. You cannot control yourself. You just keep screaming. I keep telling her, stop fucking screaming at me. Stop fucking screaming at me. You're gonna get us kicked out. And that's where I look at like that fucking Maury Povich, that I can't control it. Everything in me is telling me to slap the shit out of her mouth. I did that in Oklahoma, and you know what she did? She kicked me in my gut so hard I couldn't breathe. She wouldn't stop screaming at me in Oklahoma, so I backhanded her in her mouth, and she reached her foot out and kicked me dead in my gut. Lost my breath, bro. What was I supposed to do? Run at her? No, that's what happened last time. Am I going to do this again? No, I got to do something different. I'm like, damn, bro. Is it her? Nah, I don't know, bro. Because I was an asshole kid myself. Then you hear the stories about her dad, you know what I mean, beating the shit out of his father, and I've seen him do it. It's like, nah, this is generational, bro. This kind of anger, I've seen it in my brother. I've seen it in my mother, dude. This kind of anger, where you explode like that, bro, I've seen it in many people. She's got to overcome it, bro. And that's what I said. If she does this in public, bro, she's going to fuck around and somebody's going to fuck her up, or she's going to end up in jail. All of us have had, or maybe not all of you haven't. And that's where I say is like, there are those people that have never had the fire. Passive aggressive, very quiet, never had anger issues, never even stood up for themselves. We don't know how to stand down, bro. We've had to stand up for ourselves since the beginning of time, and that's what she is. She's quick to stand up for herself. And she's never fucking wrong. She can justify why the fuck she did what she did. And that's where it becomes a little scary. It's like, are you ever going to take accountability? Do you have any empathy? That you're hurting people's feelings? That you're not always right? That what you did was wrong? No, but what he did. No, but what about you? No, but what they did. And that's that victim mentality that's dangerous. Where people can't see that they're playing a role too. All they see is all the wrong that's being done to them. And that's fight or flight. They're constantly... A victim mentality is somebody that's always in a hopeless place of always fighting always trying to justify their actions and trying to prove themselves and trying to stand up for themselves. It causes serious conflict for the rest of their lives with that kind of mentality. You know, and going back to it, it's like, yeah, people call me crazy. No, I deal with all kinds of levels of craziness. I go to God and I go to all kinds of books to figure out how to heal. I was around all kinds of craziness my whole life. There was no way I knew I was crazy when I was dealing with everybody else's craziness. And that's the weirdest part about this whole story. I spent my whole life dedicated to the healing of everybody else's fucking pain and suffering, not even once knowing how bad I needed healing. When I looked at Bobby and I said that, it's like, how did I live my whole life not knowing I was crazy and hurting? Because I was so worried about everybody else's feelings. I never cared about my own. And that's why everybody else was able to abuse my feelings. Because I didn't care about how I felt. I could brush it off. I'll take it. I'll be okay. What about everyone else? Not realizing that that was never okay, bro. Yeah, crazy? Yeah, I got like a PhD in all levels of it. From people outside to my own. And it's like, you know, I'm here for it. They called you crazy, you're not crazy, bro. You're hurting. Let's find out where you're hurting and let's deal with it. Because that's what it is. What's wrong with my daughter? She's hurting. Everybody was. Everybody is. We have to learn not to be so bothered. What makes us bothered? We're hurting. Things hurt us. They affect us. The outside world bothers us a lot because our inside world isn't so solid. And we work on that. And that's what I do professionally, and I don't get paid for this shit. And that's why it is. It's like I have to do a service to mankind. I have to do it for myself. I have to do it for my children. But I do it for mankind, and that's the documentary. That's what my life is as a servant. You know what I mean? My life is a blueprint to help other lives. You know what I mean? That's what it's ultimately made for. But in essence, I had to go through it, not with you, on my own, in order to help people go through their own shit. I said I could do this. I win. I'll get through this so that I can teach other people how to overcome this. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the student becomes the teacher. It's like I'm learning, and as I'm learning new techniques, I'm teaching techniques, and that's what all of this is about. Becoming Christ-like. You know what I mean? And going back to, you know, my job is this. And my job is going to service mankind. My job is going to change the minds and hearts of the world. Anybody that can get it, I can get it too, and they can actually receive the message. They'll be changed forever. They'll be better people, inside and out. They can have better families, you know what I mean? Better ways of life by understanding, you know, how to overcome what I have overcome and their own, you know, trials and tribulations. With that being said, it's very difficult not to just get a regular job and be a regular person and try to fit in and be regular. But you can't be regular as an irregular person. Even as I can work through my mentality, you know what I mean, work through my memories and not be emotionally disturbed. And I'm not mentally disturbed. As we discovered, I'm mentally superior to most. I don't suffer from mental illnesses. I have emotional illnesses that arise from a severe, what they called was a mental illness. They called the brain turning off and the personalities the mental illness. But that illness was caused by emotional damage. You gave me a sickness that I didn't have. I had emotional illnesses, meaning my feelings caused, you know what I mean, mental anguish. I wasn't mentally fucked up. I managed to live a perfectly normal life to everybody else on the surface. I looked fine. I was able to be fine mentally. Emotionally was the damage. You called me something I wasn't. You said I was, you know what I mean? I had, you know, and you call that. You say that people have mental health issues. No. Their mental health is suffering from emotional abuse. Stop misdiagnosing people. Stop trying to put their brain out when it's not their brain that's hurting. It's not their brain that's creating this. It's emotional abuse that has happened that causes their brain, you know what I mean, to dysfunction. They don't have a dysfunctional brain. We weren't born, most of us, you know what I mean, mentally disordered. We weren't born with mental disorders. Our mind broke from the emotional abuse of this life. The mind breaks. At whatever age, you broke a child's mind. You broke an adult's mind. It broke. You know when a child's born if it has the cognitive abilities, if it is mentally retarded when it's born, if it is on the spectrum. Right? Right. We weren't born like this. Our experiences have emotionally abused us to where our mind doesn't have the capacity to deal with the emotional disorders we have. When we act up in our mind, what do you see? Emotional responses. And you blame it on our mind. You're seeing emotions. I don't think anxiety. I feel it and you see it. You see my anxiety. It doesn't come from my brain. You see my fear, not from my brain. You see it acting out in my bodies. You see it in my emotions. You know what I mean? My anger. You see it in my emotions and my actions. It doesn't come from my brain. And that's why they call you chemically imbalanced. If they can put a chemical into your brain, they can balance out your emotions. Why don't you deal with the emotions and leave my brain alone? Side effects may include suicidal thoughts. I didn't think I was going to kill myself until I started taking these pills. And that's it. I don't want to be crazy. Nobody wants to be crazy because we know what they do to crazy people. So now they're running around telling everybody they're crazy. And everybody's walking in fear and, and shame. You're not crazy, bro. You're emotionally damaged and it's fucking with your mentality. You have a strong mind. You just have you have a broken heart. That's it. Stop telling people there's something wrong with their mind. Start telling them the truth. Their heart is broken. We can work with a broken heart. You telling them they have a broken mind means that they're dependent off of you. There's nothing wrong with their mind. We can reprogram that mind. What's wrong is their heart. Is there a scientist that wants to argue with me? Do we need a psychoanalyst that wants to argue with me? Do we need a fucking health, we need a surgical health practitioner? Do we need who works with the brain? You know what I mean? Come here. Let's talk about this. Hook me up and let me show you how this works. Let me show you how there's no pain in my brain, but that it comes from my heart. And how it activates in my brain and how my brain gets overstimulated by a pain from my heart. That I don't even have a thought. It doesn't come from my thoughts. It comes from inside in my feelings. And my feelings create the thought of what it is. If I have no thoughts, then how am I mentally ill? I'm emotionally ill. My thoughts are very logical, calculated, and make perfect sense. In essence, I probably, if we sit it down, have a higher IQ than anybody else, as we've discovered. Quit telling people they're mentally ill because of the way they think. They're trying to think their way through their feelings. They're trying to think logically about how they feel, but they don't know how they're feeling. They don't know how to think about how they're feeling. They just want the feelings to go away, so they're using their brain power to do it, and their minds are snapping. Right? Right. What happened to me? Too much emotional pain caused my brain to snap into what's They call his parts therapy, but multiple personalities. My brain snapped because of the pain that was happening outside of me, not the thoughts inside, the pain outside. If we deal with the pain that's in your heart, your brain will go back to, you know what I mean? You'll have control over your thoughts again. And nobody can call you sick or crazy. Because you never were. You were just hurt very badly by what life had did to you. And it made you think really horribly about yourself and about others. That's what we focus on around here. The ascension, overcoming the mind and the emotions. Hey, I love you. Have a good Monday. This is what we do on a Monday. Sit in it. Go through it. Overcome it. Some of them are going to be harder. Once you get in there, you're stuck in there. You can't get yourself out until you get it. Find the light of it. Find the blessing in it. Find the forgiveness in what God took you through. Understand why He took you through that. Why did God make my life so awful? He didn't. I asked Him to do this so that I could help people. The only way I could help people is to have an understanding of what they had been through. I needed to fully understand what you've been through and how to overcome it to teach you how to. I had to be like you. I had to feel like you. You know what I mean? So, I asked for this. Only so that I could be of service to other people. You're like, I didn't ask for suffering. No, I asked, how can I help the suffering? How can I help people that suffer like this? You're going to have to learn, you're going to have to feel the suffering to learn how to help them. I asked God, you know what I mean? I came here to change the world. To stop the suffering and the pain. I can't stop it without being part of it. Being fully feeling it. Being completely immersed in suffering and pain. I can't be the goddess of hell without being in hell. I can't sympathize with you if I don't know how you feel. I can't truly talk to your heart if my heart doesn't ache like yours does. It's not true. You won't resonate with someone that doesn't know how you feel. You'll never feel safe with someone that doesn't understand you. And that's what I do. I understand your pain. But more importantly, I can show you how to overcome it. That's what they can't show you. People can't tell you how to let go. They can't tell you. They can't. Because they've never done it. I do this shit daily. And again, you could say I do it for me because I have to make it through my life. But the whole point of me doing this to my life is to teach others so we can all make it through. Because even when I'm all healed, all I want to do is heal you too. You know what I mean? Nobody should feel this way. Once you know how bad it feels to feel something, you want people never to feel that way again. When you know what it feels like to lose a child, you want to be there to support other people that have lost a child. When you know what it feels like, you know what I mean? You want to be a support to others. I support you in this journey, bro. I support you in your feelings. The dark ones, especially. That's what I'm here. I'm not that love and lighter. All those people want to bring joy and shit. I want you to face the darkness, bro. Let's just face it together. We'll be joyful after, I promise. We'll have a good time after, but let's just do this, bro. This is what I was made to do with you. I was made to love you, bro. I was made to find you. I was made to help you get through this and bring you closer to God. This will last forever, but it's gonna hurt. I love you. Laters, guys.